wake up one day in the world of Tevat, cold, with no vision or mora. The people take you in for quite a while before making passing comments about when you're going to leave because you have single-handedly reduced their food reserves by 50%. So you decide to go out and make a name for yourself. But you realize you don't know the first thing about starting a business. That's where I come in to help you. In the event you do get isekai'd, you know exactly what to do.
Now, we have to remember that since this is a game, a lot of things are scaled down, but let's start off our entrepreneurial journey in the city of freedom, Mondstadt. When you hear the word freedom, you think, wow, there must be a lot of opportunities here. Well, you'd be right. At a glance, Mondstadt is a very favorable region because there's good security, the climate is good, and there doesn't seem to be much variety in terms of vendors. But that last point is actually a disadvantage because of a very popular term called monopoly. A quick Google search tells you that monopoly is the exclusive possession or control of the supply of or trade in a service or commodity, specifically focusing on the control of trade part. That is true, but let's take a look at the general goods store, for example. There is only one in Mondstadt and every other region, but it's not like what Blanche sells is unique. If you take a look at the other stalls in Mondstadt, they tend to sell fruits or vegetables or unique things. Which brings me to my next point. It looks like every stall in Mondstadt tries to sell one unique thing, like Flora with her flowers, Sarah at the Good Hunter, Wagner with the blacksmith, and don't even get me started on the wine industry. So instead of having multiple vendors sell multiple things, the people of Mondstadt try to have one person sell distinct things from each other. So if it's mainly one person who sells salt, the price they set is what you get, which obviously has its own advantages and disadvantages. But because of this association Mondstadt has, it does create a high barrier for entry, which makes it really hard for newcomers to establish their business, and even worse for outsiders because you're not one of them or not the notable person to buy from. Heck, I'm pretty sure it would be easier for you to set up a business outside the city, but that comes with its own risks as well. Well, we know that it's not easy to come into Mondstadt, but what if we wanted to go out? Actually, every other nation does benefit from exports, be it from their harbors or to what they can export. But that doesn't mean that it's easy to become an exporter, especially in Lewe. Being the nation of contracts and commerce and the nation that's governed by the Qixing, it means that there are rules and regulations that you have to follow. This is actually very similar to what we have in real life, like going to government offices and registering your business and having to comply with regulation. In the World Quest Necessary Procedures, we are given the task by Ivanovich to help him deliver his documents so that he can get his business permit. And if you've done anything with the government, depending on where you live, it is an absolute nightmare. Oh, you have to go today? Well, you forgot one of your documents, so now you have to reschedule. Oh, you were filling something out? Well, you actually missed this one minor detail, so now you have to start all over again. Oh, the lady that was attending to you was in a bad mood? Well, that's now your fault. It is terrible and just an endless marathon of running around, getting your documents, and waiting. But since Liwa is the nation of commerce, it means that they do deal with trade. You could work in the mines or the chasm, or you could go to Chenyu Vale and deal with teas, which could even be exported. But because of the way Liwa is, trade is the order of the day here. The other main port nation is Sumeru, where it is significantly easier to become an exporter. Now, you might not start out as an independent exporter, but might work under someone, but the more trustworthy you are, the more likely it is that the owner of the business is going to hand over his legacy to you, rather than his son who wants to travel the world and then settle down on the seaside of Fontaine. Well, what about other businesses in Sumeru? I would say Sumeru has the same problem as Mondstadt, but different. Unlike Mondstadt, where it's difficult to enter because of the sense of family and association, Sumeru has a wider market with a lot of different sellers. As soon as you enter the city, you see a lot of different vendors and a lot of different stalls selling similar things in different parts of the city. So if you wanted to start out your own business, it's not going to be the most profitable for you, especially if you have to use marketing techniques like penetration pricing, which often leads you to having more losses at the start of your business. Instead, you could apply Mondstadt's technique of uniqueness to what you sell in Sumeru. Selling things that aren't common to the region could give you an advantage over others, or being a local trader between the forest and the desert regions, especially the desert. But you would also have to deal with Dori as you are in her domain if you are going to be a nationwide exporter. And since she deals with all kinds of things, she's basically become the household name because of how reliable she is. But if that's too challenging, you could also work alongside her. That's probably going to get you somewhere. Oh, but Degi, I want to be a mercenary. Are you strong? Are you intimidating? Can you fight? If so, then yeah, I don't see a reason why you can't be a mercenary. Oh, but Degi, I want to work in the academia. You want to know what's easier and more enjoyable than being a researcher for the academia? Liking and subscribing to the channel. It really helps me out and is a big motivator for me. And you don't have to go to school to do it. I mean, you don't want to end up like Layla, do you? So, press the buttons, please. Thank you. Going back to the exporter trade, it actually extends its reach to Natlan and Inazuma. These nations seem to be doing well on their own because of how closed off they are. They each had to rely on their own source of food, entertainment, local mining industries, trinket sellers, etc. But being an importer is beneficial to you as well as the people. Being an importer or exporter to Natlan and Inazuma makes it easy for the people to have a taste of other regions and their local specialties without having to spend too much. Next, we move on to Fontaine, one of the mechanically advanced nations in Teyvat, meaning you have no chance of becoming a breakout inventor because it's already been done before. Just like its justice system, Fontainians like creativity. It's one of the nations where we see a lot of variety in that aspect. Not only from what the sellers make and sell, but from the general environment and the culture of the people. Seeing this actually reminds me of the Renaissance period, specifically after Louis XIV. Now, I'm no historian, so I might not be 100% accurate, but after Louis XIV's reign, it was taken up by Louis XV. His reign was known as the, forgive me if I say this wrong, Baroque and Classicism period. It was known for its lighter decorative styles and motifs, known as rocaille, while still keeping the asymmetrical and dynamicism of the Baroque period under Louis XIV, but doing without the rhetoric and pompousness of the period. Take a look at this picture that I found on Wikipedia. This building right here really looks a lot like modern day Fontaine as we see in the game. Now, I'm not saying that this is what Genshin used for their inspiration of Fontaine, but it is evident that they do like their creativity. I mean, they have a whole opera house that is used to handle court cases. If that doesn't scream I like creativity, then I don't know. It's also the reason why we have people like Chiori, who makes various different styles, and Emily with her perfume scents be very popular because they're creative. They're expressing themselves through what they do. Creativity is something that would really thrive a lot in Fontaine. And finally, Nodcry. I'm being completely honest if I say this. Setting up a business in Nodcry is not the best idea. Let's say you start a normal business in a normal area and the risk of doing that is like 20%. Starting a business in Nodcry shoots it up by like 50%. That makes it a total of 70. Don't ask where I got these numbers from. that is not important. Notcry notably has no justice system, so it's because of this I find Dory setting up shop in Notcry to be an impressive feat. Notcry is very similar to Fontaine, but unlike Fontaine where art would sell well, Notcry, it's not the same. The region is known for its creativity, innovation, and relaxed lifestyle from the people. It's because of this that places like the Flagship are super popular. If you wanted to start up a business, it would have to blend in, like Dory, or it would have to be something pretty unique that would still appeal to the people. Something like a cafe where people can relax, or a nice but not too nice restaurant because you don't want to get robbed, or a trampoline park would work. With that said, what businesses would be profitable in each region? For Mondstadt, as long as your business is unique and finds a way to set itself apart from other businesses, it would work, especially if you can find a way to integrate alchemy into it because that's also very popular in the region. For Leeuwen, it's a pretty open area where a lot of things can go, but at the end of the day, commerce wins it all. So anything that you can pretty much buy and sell is gonna work. Also, make sure you are following the rules. For Natlan and Inazuma, I think imports and exports would be the best way to go because of how closed off these regions are. Again, it's not only an easy way to do it, but it also helps the people in the nation. For Fontaine, as I said before, anything that is creative from entertainment, music, arts will most likely sell. I mean, the whole region just feels like it's trying to tell you we want more entertainment. For Sumeru, exports and national trade, especially between the desert and the forest regions, or just being in cahoots with Dory, that would also get you some pretty decent money. But if you want to start an inn, for example, that is also another viable business because of the amount of sailors coming in and out every single day. Same with Leeuwen. And for Notcry, anything that allows the people to innovate or relax is a good place to start. Although why would you want to start there? I don't know. As long as it lets the people take their mind off the impending doom that is outside their city walls, I think you'll do fine. With that said, you now know what type of business to start if you ever find yourself isekai to Teyvat. Although, I don't know why that would be your first problem. But I hope you all enjoyed the video. Please do comment, like, and subscribe. I really enjoy reading all your comments and seeing the engagement. It's a really big motivator for me. But thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you guys next time. Bye bye!